Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to talk about our September reading wrap up. Let's go. So the first book that I read in the month of September was Butcher and Blackbird. Gasp. I gave this book, I think, a 4 out of 5. I absolutely loved the romantic comedy, the darkness of it, the dark sort of banter between Sloane and Rowan, the slow burn. I mean, Rowan was head over heels for Sloane from when they first met, but the slow burn from friends to lovers. I mean, it spanned across the years. Reading these two was amazing, and the spice, darling. I was just like, but yeah, this book I gave a 4 out of 5. It centers around two serial killers falling in love with each other whilst also having like these annual dates in which they go out and kill the serial killers, and then their friendship sort of manifests into romance. Brian Weaver, you've successfully put me off cookie dough for the rest of my life. If you know, you know. 4 out of 5, I definitely recommend it. And you know what? Since October is coming up, I'd say this is a good Halloween read actually. Butcher and Blackbird. The next book that I read in September was, drumroll please, Cruel King by Rena Kent. Yes, I officially started this massive saga, and you know what? I was here for it. I was actually quite surprised to find out that this is actually British. I was like, wait, what? Why didn't no one ever tell me this? For me, this book was bordering on like 3.9/4 out of 5. I liked it, but I think this is one of those books where, or series, let me say, where the first book is kind of like not the best, but then as the series goes on, it gradually becomes better and better and better. At least that's from what I've heard on the internet. This is about Levi and Astrid, who are basically two students. I'd say it's like a high school romance. He's basically her bully, straight enemies to lovers. It kind of follows their journey to becoming lovers in a sense. Levi is your typical bad boy, popular jock. Is he a jock? Football player. And Astrid is like your stereotypical shy, quiet schoolgirl. She's invisible, and then obviously something happens that makes her not so invisible, and she catches Levi's eye. Like I said, 3.9 out of 4. I definitely recommend it as well, so yeah. Now, the next 3 books, oh my god, these books are the reason why I was not able to read so many books in the month of September. A, because they're so long. B, because they literally exhausted me by the time I finished reading them. I went through a multitude of emotions whilst reading this book, and I did not think that this book series would be this long and this tiring, but my god did I enjoy it, and my god will I be recommending this to you guys. So the first book is Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. A lot of you guys may know Carissa Broadbent as the person who wrote the Serpent and Wings of Night. She's the same author. So let's talk about it. We've got Tasana, who is this beautiful, beautiful lady on this front cover. Look at that. She's amazing. 21-year-old slave girl who was sold into slavery when she was a young child, and she had endured horrific. She basically kills her master when he's about to kill her, and she now has to flee. She runs away to a country called Ara, where magic wielders, both Solaire and Valtaine, who are basically trained in the arts of magic in the towers of the orders. And it follows her journey into becoming a magic user, falling in love, uncovering the mysteries of the history of magic. And she's then thrust into war because she wants to save her pupil. She was a slave, so she knows what it's like to be a slave. Now, it seems very complicated, but let me tell you the trope so I can simplify it for you guys, okay? So I wouldn't say it's enemies to lovers. It's more like, I don't want to be in your presence and you don't want to be in my presence, but we're going to work together. It's age gap, it's master student, and sort of like a 9-year age gap between them. This book finishes on a cliffhanger, and we move on to the second book, which is Children of Fallen Gods. Can you see how thick these books are? Like literally, they took off years of my life reading this. Anyways, we come to the second book, where Tasana is again on the front cover. Look how beautiful she is. Love that for her. She is now a powerful magic wielder. She has bargained and made a blood contract with the bad people to save her country, to save her lover, to save all that she cares about, and she has to fight both sides of the war, one for her war and one for their war that she doesn't necessarily want to partake in. And then we find out even more things about where this sort of ancient magic of hers come from, because it was given to her in the first book, which I forgot to mention. But anyways, we figure out towards the end of the book that there was betrayal, there was heartbreak. Like, betrayal isn't even the word to use. This book literally had me like gasping towards the end. I was just like, what the fuck? We just meet more interesting key players that we haven't met before, and how they kind of how their story fits into the bigger overarching plots, and it was just wild, like completely wild. I can't lie, I thought the first 300 pages of this book I was a bit bored because I was just thinking like, where is this going? But then I realized it's setting it up, and like the 400 500 pages, and then I was just like, oh my god, it fits perfectly. Anyways, this book also ended off on a cliffhanger which had me grasping the edge of my seat. And we move on to finally the last book, which is Mother of Death and Dawn. Again, Disan on the front cover, look at her, she is beautiful. And this book focuses on her trying to save the people she loves again. I'm not going to give too much information about it because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Healing from the betrayals from the first and second book. Basically trying to figure out a way to stop the war that's coming, because no one wants to fight the war, but there are people on opposite sides that want to advocate for this war, that want to kill these people. And the thing is, it's not just a war between one or two people, it's a war between all three races. And you're saying, what three races? That's what I'm not going to tell you. I thought this book was wrapped up beautifully. It was genuinely such an emotional roller coaster because so many things happened. It left me feeling really exhausted because these books are thick, guys, and the writing is tiny, and the amount of adventures they went on, the amount of loss they've experienced, betrayal, happiness, sadness, anxiety, like it was so much to the point where you feel like you're going through it with these people. It's definitely a book I'd recommend. It is YA, though there is a bit of spice in it, just a little bit. It is slow burn as well. And like I said, it's fantasy, it's got mystery involved, it's got magic involved. So I'd say book 1, 4 out of 5. Book 2, 4.2 out of 5. And book 3 is 4.3 out of 5. Just want to show you guys, look at that. Look how thick they are. Like, I spent like 25 years of my life just reading these books, but was it worth it? It absolutely was, and I recommend them to you guys. So yes, these are the books that I read in the month of September. Like I said, I didn't get to read a lot of books because the last 3 books just took up so much of my time, but this was a good month. I really liked all of the books that I read. I hope you guys had a lovely reading wrap up, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye my lovelies, thank you for watching.